Hello gang, Tailboom Terry here. Today I'd like to talk about something that's really exciting, and that's a V977 6-channel helicopter. This little heli is just, in my opinion, is unbelievable. I flew it a couple times. I'll have a video on the flight, on my first flight. It's a 3D heli. It is one of the most stable helicopters, 6-channel helicopters I've ever flown. Now, I've not flown this inverted. I've not done any loops with it yet, but I will. But as far as flying it normal in a 6-axis mode, it is stable as almost a 4-channel. Not quite, but almost. You always need to put inputs on the sticks. You always have to be moving the sticks a little bit because it will float around on you and do certain things. It's not a 4-channel, it's a 6-channel. But it is one of the most stable 6-channel helicopters I've ever flown. It's about the size of a Genius CP, and I have a Genius CP here. I've flown a couple times, and you can see it's pretty similar size-wise. Tail's a little bit longer. Unlike the Genius CP, this helicopter really is built, in my opinion, a lot better than the Genius CP. Biggest downfall of the Genius CP, I get about 5 minutes of flight out of the battery. That's an upgraded battery. Stock batteries in this helicopter, flying normal, a couple pirouettes I've done, usually around 10 minutes. I've never gotten under 10 minutes. Most of my flights are about 10 minutes and 30 seconds, which is a long time to fly. And it makes a lot more fun. Second thing is, you don't really have to work on this heli. The Genius CP, I was always working on. No matter what happened, I had to work on it. There's always issues with it, always. This thing, I have about 3 hours of flying time on it now, and I've not worked on it at all. I've crashed it a few times, but no damage was done to it. As you can see, the battery is it's a little different than the Genius CP. It's kind of a long battery, and these are stock batteries. When you buy it, you know, it comes in a box like this. The Power Star V911 3D 6G, it says, and everything's packed real neatly in this box. It's a very neat thing, and there's a handle on it. You can use it to carry the heli around if you travel. You can put everything in here, kind of carry it. So it is a really, really neat setup. It comes with a heli, battery, charger. It's a USB charger, and naturally the upgraded radio. Now, this charger does not plug into this radio like the V911s. You need USB for this. I bought a wall adapter, and you plug it in there, and you plug it into a wall and you charge. Charging time is a little over an hour on these batteries, so it takes a little bit of time to charge these up. There's not much heat while you're charging, so that's not an issue like the V912s. So that's pretty cool. Another cool feature with this heli, and I really, really love this, is the motor is a brushless motor. And I can't tell you how that helps this heli. As far as heat-wise, there is no heat. 10 minutes is a long time to be in the air, and you can see the motor's rather small, size-wise. It doesn't take up much room, and it does not emit much heat. I put a laser thermometer on it when I was done flying, and it's just pretty much normal heat. It's a very compact board. Everything's kind of tucked in there, and it's nice and neat. As far as breakable parts on this, when I ordered this, I ordered another skid tray, just in case. The skids do look a little flimsy. So far they've held up well, but I do have another skid tray. I also ordered, it comes with one extra main gear here, this big one. I ordered another one, just in case that one broke. It also comes with a spare set of blades, as you can see in this little pack. Has a little tool in there, some blades, tail blade, main blades, a little gear rotor. But I did order some extra parts because I plan on flying this upside down, and I know I'm going to crash. Some of the guys are saying that the servos, when you're flying upside down, the throttle up position, it takes a pretty hard hit. The servo goes bad to gears. Servos are a little pricey on these, are around $12. So I did order an extra servo for it because I know I'm going to crash. The price on the Heli, you can find a whole bunch of different prices throughout the internet, but most of them are going around, I think around $89, $90, no freight. You got this 6-channel Heli. I don't know how it flies upside down yet. I cannot do a review upside down on it because I've not flown it upside down. But right side up, I'm telling you, it is my favorite 6-channel Heli, and I own a few. It is my favorite 6-channel Heli. The radio is very easy to operate. I got some modes down here, 3D mode, 6-channel, 3D mode, and there's a throttle up position on it. Now you can't adjust the rates on the throttle up, things like that, like you can the Wakiras. So once I get it upside down flying, that may or may not be an issue. I don't know. Most guys are saying it's not an issue, and I don't foresee it being an issue in my case either. The radio is very well built. It's real easy to handle. It reminds you of the V977 and the V977 radios. The only thing is you can't charge your battery off of it. So if you're out in the field, I bought a cigarette lighter adapter USB, plug in the cigarette lighter, plug this in, and you can charge your batteries out in the field or out in the flying field. Well, I fly mainly at home, so it's easy for me to just plug this into a wall and go from there. But cigarette lighter adapter will do the same. As far as the Genius CP, I flew this, I have a lot of flights on this, and this Genius CP 6-channel doesn't compare to this at all. It does not compare at all. It just doesn't. I pretty much have sat these down or have a little dust on them now from flying this. This is 1,000% more stable than this. This is a lot easier to fly. It's a lot easier to get used to. And I'm hoping when I go inverted, and I'll have some videos of that as I go inverted, it will be my go-to Heli from here on out. If you're interested in 6-channel Heli, this is the one. It's not very expensive. I think they are putting some bind and flies out. They are about 15, 20 bucks cheaper for the bind and fly. I remember seeing one on the internet. The tail motor is still a basic brushed motor at this particular time. I bought an extra tail and motor assembly, whole back end, because of flipping inverted. I know eventually I'm going to crash and crack that. It seems pretty sturdy. It actually seems pretty easy to get apart. And unlike the Genius CP, the skids, you can undo 2 screws and pull the skids off and put new skids on. The Genius, you got to tear everything apart. You can see I got glue on these skids and so forth. This is a much better system, a much better design system. So I just want to add something about this radio. This radio is a little bit more complex than your 4-channel radio. It has 6G mode and 3D mode. It has a high mode, low mode for beginners and more advanced. It's throttle hold, tells you the voltage of the battery. The radio does a lot more. Definitely read the instruction manual when you get it. It'll help you understand the radio. It comes set from the factory on the beginner mode, the 6-axis mode, which is the more stable. You cannot do any stunts in that mode, but you can learn how to fly a 6-channel Heli. And then from there you can adjust it down here with these over here. It's a very intense radio, so you definitely need to read the instructions on the radio. It'll do whatever you want it to do, but you have to read. And if you have any questions, you can certainly get online and ask. That's not an issue. I really believe they tried to make it as easy as they could for the beginner pilots flying a 6-channel heli. And even though the radio has a lot of functions, it's a little bit easier to do than the Wakira radios. They're a lot more in depth when you set the throttle curves and all that. So this radio is a lot easier than that. But it is more in depth than say a V911 or a V912 or even a V913 radio. A lot more in depth. Read your instructions, you can't go wrong. If you're looking 6-channel heli, definitely take a look into this. You will not be sorry. And let me know how you fly. Make sure you friend me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to have a short video of me flying this. I did take a video of some of my first flights. My very first flight, it was so stable, I was just shocked. I didn't crash it on the first flight. I actually crashed it on the second and the third flight, just slightly into the grass. But you'll be surprised. If you have any questions, certainly ask, and I'll try to answer all the questions I can. I'm going to attempt to fly this V977. They say it's very stable in the 6-axis mode. I'm going to fly it in the 6-axis mode the first flight. The following video is going to be me of the first flight. It's a little windy out, but I want to try it. Really want to try it hard, so I'm going to try to fly it in the wind a little bit. At least go around, maybe not a full battery. At least try to do a pirouette or two and see what happens to it. So stay tuned. The following flight is the first flight on this V977. flying, everybody.